On a quiet, snow-blowing Christmas afternoon, Serena Hale sat alone at a small window-side table in the maple and pine bistro, staring at the untouched glass of water in front of her. As the city outside shimmered with golden daylight, the warmth of the restaurant, the reeds, the soft music, none of it softened the sting of what had just happened. She had dressed her best, rehearsed her smile, and convinced herself that maybe, just maybe, this blind date could be the one moment life finally chose her instead of leaving her behind. But the man who walked in gave her one quick glance, whispered something to the hostess, and walked straight back out into the snow without even approaching her table, shattering the fragile hope in seconds. It was almost impressive how quickly one moment could make a person feel small, unlovable, and utterly replaceable. Serena lowered her eyes, fighting the heaviness in her chest, trying not to cry in public. But the rejection felt so painfully familiar, it almost stole her breath. If you believe kindness and second chances still matter in this world, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Serena leaned back slightly, staring at the empty chair across from her, wondering once again if she was simply meant to walk through life alone. She had spent the last 3 years rebuilding herself after losing her parents and ending a toxic relationship that drained the best parts of her. She worked as a junior interior designer, lived in a tiny apartment, and did her best to act like she had accepted her loneliness. But on days like this, when the world around her sparkled with families and love, the ache inside her grew heavier. Still, she reminded herself that she came here to try because even wounded hearts deserve a chance. She just didn't know if she could keep trying after this. As she sat there collecting the courage to stand up and leave, something soft tugged at her thoughts. The faint sound of tiny boots stepping across the wooden floor made her glance up. 2 little girls, identical, maybe 3 years old, stood by her table wearing matching red Christmas dresses and holding identical stuffed bears. Serena blinked in surprise, almost confused by the sight. The first girl, slightly bolder, rested her chin on Serena's table, and the quieter one peeked from behind her sister's shoulder like she was hoping, but not brave enough to hope too loudly. Their eyes were brilliantly blue, filled with a kind, innocent warmth Serena hadn't seen in a long time. And though she didn't know them, something in their small faces gently disarmed the sadness gripping her. The girls seemed hesitant, almost as if they had gathered courage from the glowing decorations around them before venturing toward a stranger. Serena straightened, smiling softly despite her pain, because children had a way of pulling a smile from her no matter how heavy her heart felt. That was when she noticed a tall man walking toward them from a few tables away, his expression registering surprise and then something softer, as if he recognized that these girls had wandered off but wasn't angry about it. Before he reached them, the bolder twin leaned closer to Serena with the most disarming sincerity, and Serena's breath caught because the child's eyes held the kind of longing that belonged to someone far older than 3. The moment stretched quietly, as if the world paused to listen. Serena felt her chest tighten in a way she wasn't prepared for, because it wasn't just a child's curiosity she saw in their faces. It was something deeper, almost like they sensed her loneliness the way children somehow always do. And then the realization struck her like sunlight breaking through a cloud. These 2 little girls hadn't come to her by accident. Something about them being drawn to her, something about their silent question, made Serena feel as though life had nudged her gently in this direction, offering a moment she didn't fully understand yet. Their father, Adrian Wells, reached the table and exhaled in relief, though a nervous embarrassment showed in his posture. He apologized to Serena with a soft, grateful expression, the kind of look that carried pain and humility. He introduced himself and his daughters, Mary and Lainey, explaining they had just moved to the city, and Christmas this year had been different, quieter, harder, after a loss that still lived in their home like a shadow. Serena listened, absorbing the weight behind his words, feeling a sudden ache in her heart for a family she had only just met. In the daylight streaming through the windows, she saw a man doing his best but carrying far more grief than he let show. Adrian noticed Serena's tear-rimmed eyes, and when she admitted what had just happened to her, he looked at her with a softness that surprised her. He asked her if she'd like company, so she wouldn't have to spend Christmas afternoon alone. The twins instantly nodded with hopeful enthusiasm, as if the idea had been theirs all along. And for the first time that day, Serena let herself accept something good without questioning why she deserved it. They sat together, and the girls talked in bursts of adorable excitement about their stuffed bears, their favorite Christmas songs, and how they wished they could have someone who made their home feel warm again because their daddy tried so hard. But sometimes grown-ups needed more hearts around them. As the hours passed, the daylight outside shifted into a gentle winter glow, and Serena found herself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in years. Adrian watched her with a mixture of gratitude and disbelief, as though witnessing someone bring color back into a room he had gotten used to seeing in shades of gray. He told her about the struggles of raising twins alone, about feeling like he wasn't enough, about trying to rebuild a life that had fallen apart unexpectedly. Serena listened to him with compassion blooming inside her, because she understood loss too intimately. By the time dessert arrived, the girls had climbed into Serena's lap like they had known her for far longer than a single afternoon. Adrian looked at her again, and in his eyes she saw a quiet question, one that didn't rush, didn't demand, didn't assume. He simply asked if they could see her again sometime. She might like to join them for Christmas activities in the coming days. If maybe this unexpected connection could be the start of something healing for all of them. Serena felt warmth rise through her chest, a warmth she had long forgotten, and she realized this afternoon had changed her heart in ways she didn't fully understand yet. She nodded, choosing hope for the first time in years. If this story warmed your heart or even brought a tear to your eyes, please like the video, share it with someone who believes in kindness, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps these stories reach more beautiful souls. Before you go, let us know in the comments what moment in this story moved you the most. And as Serena stepped out of the restaurant that evening, with the twins waving eagerly from the doorway and Adrian offering her a gentle, hopeful smile, she realized something she never expected to learn that Christmas afternoon. Rejection sometimes places you exactly where you are meant to be. Because life may take away what isn't right just to guide you toward the family you didn't even know your heart was waiting for.